charity fundraiser, sponsored by GXO Logistics. Tim Fleming. A veteran himself, Tim cycled across war memorials in France as part of a fundraising challenge for Help for Heroes.
I'm Tim Fleming. I'm ex-military. I spent 34 years in the parachute regiment. My last role, I finished as a welfare officer, and one of those roles within that was to look after the wounded and injured and sick soldiers, and also those that have been less fortunate and paid the ultimate price. So I've had experience of working myself with Help for Heroes, and I thought now that I'm retired from the army, it may be time to give something back. So Help for Heroes provides support to those soldiers that are injured, mentally or physically, and to their families also. So I saw an advert online, just ad hoc really, for Help for Heroes' big battlefield bike ride. I believe it's their biggest fundraising operation of the year, where some 150 cyclists get together from all over the UK to ride a battlefield tour, predominantly in France, Belgium and Holland. So next year will be my fourth. I remember poignantly in Portsmouth, as we were departing in 2022, meeting some other guys that was their first ride. As luck would have it, we formed a team called the Battlefield Badgers, and we meet frequently, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, up and down the country, in Peterborough, in Bury St Edmunds, in Barnsley, and in Scotland for some cycling and some other social activities. I fundraise, I'm a registered fundraiser for Help for Heroes, and I predominantly fundraise at our partners Tesco, who are very cooperative up and down the Yorkshire area, and very kindly there's a young lady called Miss Lindsay Smith who's got me into Barnsley Football Club on actually Remembrance Day itself for a fundraising opportunity. So monetary wise, as with any other business or organisation, there's a slice of the money comes off for the admin and managerial costs. So my fourth bike ride, with the amount of money I've raised and the rest of the participants have raised, is circa £1 million. That's a phenomenal amount of money raised throughout the year for the goodness of the public, to a worthwhile charity that's still very worthwhile to donate to, bearing in mind that there's no conflicts at the moment that the UK are involved in where we have soldiers to support. But it's important to remember the Help for Heroes are still supporting those soldiers that are wounded, injured, sick, that haven't come back. And let's not forget there are soldiers that are injured on exercise, and are soldiers that are injured and die outside of military activities, which Help for Heroes still supports. So it's still a fantastic, worthwhile charity that's worth donating to. Very much looking forward to our next bike ride, which is through the Rhine next year, which I'm already training for. So it takes part in June, so it's a nice part of the year, weather-wise, to cycle.
Oliver Simon Pike. To support his wife, who was diagnosed with breast cancer earlier in the year, Oliver committed to undertaking a gruelling 15-part fundraising challenge for Breast Cancer Now, which includes running 4 marathons in the space of 7 months.
Hi, I'm Oliver Simon Pike, and I'm raising money for Breast Cancer Now. In January 2024, my wife, Lindsay, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we were absolutely devastated at the time. Fortunately, through the great care by Barnsley Hospital and Weston Park and the support of Breast Cancer Now, she's fortunately been discharged and things are looking good at the moment. So in recognition of the fact that she went through 15 days of radiotherapy and the challenges that was for her, with all the pain that went through it, I've decided to do 15 challenges myself, to push myself as hard as my wife Lindsay was at the time. So these 15 challenges are spread across the year from July 2024 to June 2025. And they range from having a half marathons to long distance off-road runs, and culminates in 4 marathons in 7 weeks. And in the same weekend as well, I'm doing the Three Peaks Fell Race, 24 miles of up and down in Yorkshire. And then on the Sunday, I'm going down to London to run the London Marathon. The reason why I'm raising money for breast cancer now is for the amazing research they do into treatments to help people diagnosed, and also for funding of breast care nurses and also the aftercare that they have provided. When it comes to these challenges, I've already done 3 of them. I've done a triathlon at Hathersage. I did a 17.5-mile fell race at Home Moss, which was on the hottest day of the year, and unfortunately I was sunburnt to a crisp that day. That was a really challenging day out, and I've also recently just done a half marathon in September. The rest of this year I've got 2 half marathons between now and Christmas, and then I'm going to be pushing myself with 10 events in about 4 months. As well as doing the challenges, me and my wife have organised a bake sale, and we raised £600 for that. And we've got a plan for doing a quiz in the new year as well to aid the fundraising. And so far I've been lucky enough, and people have been very, very kind and generous with the donations. I've raised £2,800 already, and that's above the target I'd already set. And I'm hoping to keep on fundraising to try and smash as much money as I possibly can for such a great cause.
Amanda Glover. When her daughter was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, Amanda went above and beyond to make sure all young people whose lives have been destroyed by the disease feel supported.
My daughter, she got diagnosed with cancer last August. She was pregnant with my grandson, and she got, I forgot what they call it, but it was a bad case of cancer in there. So when we were at hospital and that, we were in and out of hospital we were all the time, and we just started like putting little raffles on and that, and then we did a big thing down at Greyhound and everything. But because we were at hospital that much and she was that poorly, it took focus off of being poorly a bit, so that's what we did. We've raised £13,500 and it's gone to Young Lives with Cancer. When I was younger, I had a little boy and he had cancer. He died when I was 2.5. But I didn't really know much about it then, so I was young myself, and now I know a lot. So I like to give back, you know, what they're doing for Molly and that. 'Cause it's really been difficult, really. But you've got to get on. You can't sit back, can you? You've got, and I always think there's always worse than you are. And like when she's been in hospital, I've said, come on, you put a raffle on your page, even when she's being poorly. So like, it's really helped us. And then you think, and then it makes you feel better than you know that you're helping others as well. I mean, she come from Young Lives yesterday and I gave her 2 bags of toys to take. So keep in touch with them. She used to have a scan every 3 months because the sort of cancer Molly's had, she's clear now, but the type of cancer is that it could come back within the next 2 years. But with treatment she's had, because she's had like a big operation, she's had really intense chemotherapy, and she's had proton beam. So fingers crossed it don't come back, but that's why they're keeping an eye on her for scans every 3 months for the next few years. And then after that she's got to be looked after for 10 years. Because it's like cancer she had is like more, it's not common, but it's more common to old people than 24 years, 4-year-old. Especially like, you know, with little boy, when we had little boy all that time ago, and you're thinking, is it the same going to happen to Molly? But she's really, really strong girl, really strong.